people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she, her, and welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to donate to Palestine. Anyway, today's video is dedicated to my favorite books by QAOCs, which stands for Queer Authors of Color. I did a video last year talking about my favorite books by authors of color, and I did a video talking about my favorite books about queer people of color, but some of those books were written by white authors, so I decided to make an entire video talking about books by queer authors of color that are about queer people of color. So here we are. The first book on this list is called This Is What It Feels Like. This book is YA contemporary and it follows 3 former best friends and 3 former band members. 3 people in total, not 6 people in total, who must band together to compete in a musical competition. This book is so good. One of the protagonists is sapphic, so there is a lovely, wonderful sapphic side relationship, and it's so lovely. But this book overall is also so wholesome, and it's so cute. And I love all of the 3 main characters because they're all so well developed and distinct, and I love them. This book is so good, and it's so underrated, and for what? This author is so talented, and I love her writing because it's just so good. She crafts such a wonderful world with such wonderful main characters. All the 3 main characters are such wonderful, well-developed, distinct characters and people, and I just love them. And this book is so underrated, and I just love the friendship dynamic, and I love the plot, and this book is so good. I know I've said that 5,000 times already, so with that, please go read this book because I clearly highly recommend it. The next book on this list is rather underrated in the bookstagram, but it's not underrated on my channel, and it is Yesterday's History. This book is a YA contemporary following a young black gay boy who gets trapped between 2 boys, one in the past and one in the present, because his new liver, or maybe it's his new kidney, but anyway, his new transplant gives him the ability to time travel. This book is so good. It's absolutely so good. I know I talked about it somewhat recently, which is why it's not really underrated on my channel, because I've talked about it so many times, but I've talked about it so many times because this book is so good. It's so fluffy and it's so wholesome, and it's absolutely so wonderful and so lovely. This author is so talented. I'm so excited to see what he will write next because I will definitely pick it up because Yesterday's History was so good. It's so lovely and it's so wonderful, and the romance is so fluffy and it's so cute and it's so wholesome. This book deserves just as much hype as You Should See Me in a Clown and Felix Ever After. This book is absolutely so amazing, and I love it so much. So with that, I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Last Night at the Telegraph Club. This book is a YA historical fiction book that follows a young Chinese lesbian during the 1950s. This book is so good, and it definitely deserves all of its hype and so much more because it's absolutely so amazing. It's definitely one of my favorite books that I read in February. Did I read it in February or did I read it in March? I don't remember when this book came out. Essentially, this book is so good. Maybe I read it in January. Anyway, the point is, this book is absolutely so good because it's absolutely so wonderful and it's just so good. I really enjoyed how this author tackled the racism and the homophobia that occurred in the 1950s and definitely still occurs today, because this story is still so timely and it's so necessary and it's so awesome. The main character is such a wonderful, well-developed, distinct character, and I love her. This story is so good. I absolutely really enjoyed it. You can tell that the author really did her research when it came to bringing the setting to life, because this book is so good. It's definitely one of my favorite historical fiction books because it was so wonderful. The plot was so thrilling and it was so intriguing. The main character, like I said, is such a wonderful, well-developed, distinct character. The romance was so good and it was so lovely. This book deserves all of its hype and so much more. So with that, I highly recommend it. The next book on this list is another book that's kind of underrated in the BookToolNet, but it's not underrated on my channel because I've talked about it previously, and it is The Neville Tilting World. This book is YA fantasy and it's so good. It follows 4 distinct characters who are trying to heal the broken world. This book is so good. First of all 4 of the characters are such well-developed, distinct characters. 2 of them are sapphic as well, so we love to see it. This book is so good. I love it so much. First of all, the world building is so good. It is so immersive and so inventive and so innovative. This author is so underrated and so talented. I love them because I love their writing, and it's done so well. The plot was so thrilling and it was so intriguing, and like I said before, the 4 distinct characters were done so well. They felt so realistic and so 3-dimensional, and I love them. This book is so good, and it definitely deserves so much more hype. So please go give it the hype that it absolutely deserves, because I highly recommend it. Next book on this list is definitely not underrated in the BookToolNet at all, because it is one that we all know and love, and it is Cemetery Boys. This book is YA fantasy contemporary, and it follows a young transgender gay Latinx boy who's determined to prove his true gender to his traditional family, and by doing so he accidentally summons a ghost. This book is so good. It definitely deserves all of its hype and so much more. Aiden Thomas is such a talented writer. His writing is so good because their writing is like so immersive, and the way that they make their characters is like so good. The characters in this story are so distinct and well developed, and I love their dynamic between each other because it's done so well. The plot is also quite intriguing and it's quite thrilling. Representation is so well done. You can truly tell that this story's own voices. This book is so good. I love the plot, I love the romance, I love the characters. This book is so good, and it definitely deserves all of its hype and so much more. And I feel like I don't really need to add to the hype because everybody else has also added to the hype. So if you haven't read this book already, please go read it because it's absolutely so amazing. The next book on this list is called Meet Cute Diary. This book is YA contemporary, and it follows a young triracial transgender boy whose first love changes his idea of perfect relationships. This book is so good. This book definitely deserves all of its hype and so much more because it's absolutely so good. I know that I talked about this book recently in my favorite fluffy queer books because it's so good. It's so fluffy and it's so lovely and it's so wholesome and it's so wonderful, and I loved it. This book definitely deserves all of its hype and so much more, like I just said, because it's so good. The plot, the character development, the romance, the representation, this book is so good. I absolutely really enjoyed it, and like I said 3 times already, this book deserves all of its hype. So please go read it because it's absolutely so good. It's so fluffy and it's so lovely and it's so wonderful and it's so wholesome. So please go read it. So in conclusion, please go donate to Palestine and happy Pride Month. I hope this video serves as a reminder to support queer authors of color, not just during Pride Month, but at all times of the year. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the panda emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.